Hello everyone, welcome to the Coffee at 9. Today we are going to speak in English because our guest is an international student of medicine from Comenius University in Bratislava from the Faculty of Medicine. We are sorry for the delay, but we had some technical problems, but everything is solved now, so let's start. Hello, Datis.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me on your program this morning.
Thank you that you joined. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. It's a really nice Thursday morning here in Bratislava. And what about yourself?
I'm good. Thank you. I know that you were studying all night for exams.
Yes, I was.
Well, so what exams do you have?
I have an anatomy weekly test for the dissection week we have. And it's a week-long intensive course on anatomy, and it ends with a little test on Friday.
Oh, I've heard anatomy is really difficult exam. Is it true?
It's a lot to learn, but it's very manageable. It's definitely manageable.
Okay, that's good to hear. So you are in the 6th grade, you said?
At the moment, I'm in the 2nd grade.
Second, I'm sorry, second. So I know that you graduated from high school when you were 14, is it correct?
Yes, that's right.
How come?
I skipped 3 years throughout my school education, 2 in high school and 1 in primary school. And that sort of escalated into finishing a little bit too early.
Well, lucky you. And it was back in Iran, right? You are from Iran.
I am from Iran, but I lived in Malaysia for about 9.5 years, where most of my schooling happened, and a total of 1 year in Germany and France growing up when I was much younger. But I did start my education in Iran for 2 elementary years. When I was 7, I went to Malaysia until I started medicine.
Oh, nice. And why Malaysia?
Well, it was a family decision, really. We all wanted to move somewhere with a very similar cultural background, but also somewhere new. And we decided somewhere on the equator with tropical weather all year round would be a great idea. It was, but now I'm really not used to the winter, so I'm paying for it in Bratislava's winters.
So why did you decide to study in Bratislava?
It was a combination of a few factors. I knew about the university for a while, but unfortunately, when I started university, I was under the age of 18 and I couldn't apply here due to the age restriction. And the only university I could actually apply for was one back in Hungary. So I started there with the aims of transferring once I turned 18. And as soon as I did, I signed my resignation, started my entrance exam, and got out of there as soon as possible.
So, and then you started from beginning here, right?
Yes, that's right. Due to Slovak Ministry of Education laws, you can't transfer midway through your education, but they were really generous. They accepted all my credit transfers. So anything I did pass, I didn't have to do again, but I did have to start from the beginning.
And how was the beginning here in Slovakia? Was it difficult for you? What was different?
Honestly, there are some subtle differences, but it makes a huge difference on a student life in general when you compare. It was educationally easier for me personally because I had a less heavier load on my education. But on the other hand, there was the change in environment and living conditions. Definitely the new language was not very easy to learn, and at the moment, even now, I'm struggling with it a little bit. But apart from that, honestly, it was just about the same. It was highly manageable to transfer. But educational differences, I would say, they're very, comparing to my previous university, they're very much similar, except in Slovakia, there's a bit more of an organized system. The examination system is a bit more favoring the students. The final tests happen at the end of a subject, not at the end of every semester, so you don't have 7 or 13 final exams per semester, which is great. And you get to learn for every test slowly until the final comes around. So I think that's a really huge difference that was very helpful. And the biggest issue I've honestly had in Slovakia was my nostrification. That was a very difficult procedure and very foreign to me and all my friends to do, really.
No, I believe that. And why you decided to become a doctor?
Honestly, I wanted to be a cardiac surgeon since I was 7. At first, I didn't know why. I just thought it's something that I should do. It's written in the books. And then when I grew older, I realized I started trying to find other alternatives in case that is not what I want. And I went through the entire list like 20 times. There is nothing else I would rather do and that I would ultimately be happy with doing every day until I'm 60 years old, except medicine. So I'm like, okay, this seems like something I should be sticking with. So I should study for my exams a little bit better.
And were you already thinking about the specialization?
Yes, I mentioned since I was 7, cardiac surgery was always on the table. Actually, starting medicine got me into thinking about emergency surgery and plastic surgery, but still cardiac surgery is in the top 3 at the moment.
So you are ready to save lives, right?
Mentally, not educational yet.
That's a good answer.
Please don't call me for agencies.
And also you established the Association of International Medical Students at the Faculty of Medicine. How was that? Where did this idea come from?
The idea came from previous experience in my international schools and my university, because the schools I went to were all British and American high standard schools, and these things were very normal. Student organizations were highly what's it called? They were very promoted. They wanted students to take part and take responsibility of their own education and welfare. And it was the same in Hungary, but here I've realized that that was missing, and that led to a whole lot of what's it called? A whole lot of little issues that were not being addressed, simply because there was nobody actively hearing out the international students specifically. We had representatives in the student senate. They were doing a fairly good job, but we were not their main focus because there are twice the amount of Slovak students as there are international students. And the Slovak students in the Slovak Senate, as much as they tried representing us, they were not in our classes with our exams. We did not have similar issues in all aspects. So as soon as I saw that little gap of opportunity, I thought it's great to take it, and we started AIMS together with Cecilia. She's a Slovak medical student in the English program from the 6th year, and it's thanks to all her experience in Comenius that really helped us get AIMS going.
Amazing. So when you decided to start the organization, what was your first step?
The first step to starting an organization like ours was to create a student body. So first thing we did was create this system, this triangle and hierarchy of information that went from students to group leaders to year representatives, year tutors, our faculty board from AIMS, and then the faculty of medicine. So first, what we did in the first 2 weeks of operations, we chased this to make sure we get everybody involved on every stage and fill out all the seats necessary. And after we managed to get adequate number of group leaders, year representatives, and from dentistry and general medicine, we then went to one of our vice deans, Professor Mravets, and we gave him the idea. We asked for his advice, and he gave a lot of good advice, and he was very supportive. He said this is something that we've been looking for a while, and this was a semester where we're actually ourselves as the faculty going to start looking into what it is we can do to have international students more represented. So we're glad you started this. It was great timing and great luck. And his recommendation was that the next step should be writing a mission statement or a project proposal and a little contract, let's say codes of conduct, how the team is going to operate, and meet with our deans and vice deans who are relevant to our faculty and present our organization. So those are the main official steps you need to take in order to become an established student association in your own faculty. First, you need the support of your students. You need a good structure that is working, that is efficient, and then you can start presenting your ideas to the faculty. And this should not take more than a month to do all of them. So if you start next semester, by the first month, you should have a goal that after 30 days, we have found the people, we've talked to the dean, and we're already writing our letter to all the deans. It's not a very long procedure, honestly. The amount of things you can handle or accomplish in 1 or 2 weeks as a student council with good hierarchical system of information is mind-blowing, honestly. I'm so proud of the work both AIMS and all the students in the faculty have done to fix their issues as soon as possible, as soon as AIMS became an association here.
Sounds like a great job you did. And thanks. I know that your organization is quite structured. Mm-hmm. And was it difficult to find people on specific positions? I know that you have a PR, I know you are vice president, there is a president, yes. There is some board. Was it difficult to find all the members?
Speaking about the board members of AIMS, there's 6 of us, and honestly, those were the easiest, apart from myself, this is the 4 people to find, because as soon as they heard an AIMS is coming to fruition and it's being made, the first response was, I would like to help students. This is the best place to be if you want to help somebody. So can I join? And those honestly were the easiest members to look for, because you'll be surprised how many highly motivated students you have in your own faculties, whether if it's law, arts, languages, or medicine, that when they don't have a platform, a place for them to fit in and take action, they just won't, which is totally understandable. But as soon as somebody starts facilitating the grounds for them to share their ideas, help students out, you will have the easiest time finding these board members. The difficulty was in finding group leaders because it was a very foreign idea. People have been studying either for 1 semester or 12 semesters in Comenius, and they had no idea what group leaders are and why they're even necessary. They made it to year 6, they're almost graduating, why do we need them? So that took a little bit of explaining to do, but even those guys immediately saw the benefits, and it went onto automatic drive immediately. They just started choosing their group leaders, their own year representatives, and it was very smooth sailing after that.
And all of this happened through communication, right? You just went to the people and you told them.
Exactly.
Was there any campaign, or how did you do that?
We initially started a Facebook page called AIMS, Association of International Medical Students, and we invited initially our friends, people who we knew, and from there we shared our hierarchy information with groups of medical students from different entrance years, admission years. And another very big thing that we did that took the most effort to date to introduce AIMS to students was that we helped with the enrollment day of our university. So the first day freshmen came when they were getting their ISEC cards and signing themselves up. That's when we offered and volunteered help, me and Cecilia, and a few other students who wanted to help AIMS. And we helped them with the ISEC cards, the booklets, the missing paperwork that they might have had. And while doing all that, you're also constantly introducing AIMS, our Facebook page, our plan, find a group leader for your freshman year, find a year representative for your first year students. So that was probably the most campaigning we did, which was help our student department and inform students. But apart from that, really students pick up on these things when they see the importance and the necessity of something. You don't have to sell it to them, because when there's a need and there's a demand for it, it will be picked up immediately and automatically.
And after you set up your board and your members, you went to the dean of the faculty, or?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So once we had the whole structure set, we, after discussing with the vice dean and asking for his opinion, we emailed the deans, the vice deans that are in the Faculty of Medicine, and we asked for a meeting with them in order to be able to introduce ourselves, ask for advice, see what it is we can help with, and generally the idea is very well received by professors all around the campus. We have not met a single professor or student who thinks that the presence of AIMS is redundant, unnecessary, and they could have done it themselves before we got together. So we're expecting very positive feedback from the dean as well once we get to meet him.
So do you feel like the faculty understands the importance of your organization and accepts you?
I really do believe so, yes, because as I've mentioned initially when we met the vice dean of the Faculty of Medicine on the first week of education, on the first week of operations as AIMS, he already mentioned that he was looking for ambitious medical students, more possibilities to get us involved in the student senates, the faculty board the faculty board meetings, and this was already something the university was thinking about, but haven't decided how to implement the idea of getting international students solving their own issues. So we basically solved an issue that we didn't know they had at the moment.
Oh, well, that's nice. And how does it work, the cooperation with employees of the faculty, with professors, with staff members and everything? Is it smooth?
Sorry, please go ahead.
Sorry, like is the cooperation smooth?
Smooth. Mm-hmm. Definitely, I would say so. I can go through the steps of how we work with professors, heads of departments, year tutors. So at the bottom of our hierarchy, we have the students, which is all these students, from medicine and dentistry. And every student is in a study group, and those study groups have their own group leaders. So in the first year, we have 18 group leaders. In the third year, we have 11. So it varies depending on number of students. Those group leaders are in charge of those 10 or 13 students in their own class, the people they study with. And if there are issues such as a presentation not being uploaded, a test date not being decided on, or the need of a replacement or makeup lesson because, let's say, due to a public holiday, those group leaders will contact the professors as through one single email, make the decision, share the idea with the group, and tell the professor what the group thinks, and the issue should be solved on that level. And usually this is already very much liked by professors because they're not getting 12 or 15 emails from the same group of people who have never talked to each other about what they're going to email to the professor, and they have to now spend their Friday night writing 15 emails back. So this, on the first step, the professors are very fond of the idea. Now, we have more foolproof steps in the middle to avoid any issues not being addressed. If the group leaders are not able to fix an issue with the professor, or if there's a problem that affects many different groups or the entire year, the groups report it to their year representative. The task of the year representative is to hear out the issues of all those 10, 11, or 18 group leaders and see if there is anything in common between them that he can address directly to the heads of departments or people responsible of the educational aspect of their department, and the year tutors, which are a group of 6 professors or doctors that the university recommended to us as students to contact in order to solve our problems. So our year representatives have all met with the year tutors. They're in close contact, and they will also tell them what the issue is in case they can help us. And if everything fails until this level, a professor can't fix your issue, the heads of departments are not responsible for fixing the issue, the year representatives come to the 6 board members of AIMS, and we will personally take it to the faculty board meeting, take it to the dean, the vice dean, and anybody we think can help with the issue, and make sure whatever problem that occurred down here, which was not addressed by the group leaders, year representatives, year tutors, we will take care of it personally. And another way we kept the flow of information from students all the way up to to assure that we're fixing every problem that comes up was weekly feedbacks. This was an idea given to us by our dean or one of the vice deans through faculty board meetings, and from week 1 of becoming AIMS, we already started implementing a very efficient way of getting feedback. So on a weekly basis by Friday, the group leaders in their study groups or the year representatives can fill in a feedback form, tell us what their issues were, what was fixed, what wasn't fixed, what's better, what isn't better, and we will address them on a weekly basis with the faculty board in case we are not able to solve it before the meetings. And this way, there has not yet been an issue that we were not able to address, we're not able to fix, or find the right professor to talk to, because there's so many foolproof steps in the whole procedure that you really inevitably fix it, whether you like it or not.
Sounds like it's working quite well. And so now, honestly, how much work is it? How many hours a week do you are you giving up for this organization?
Honestly, it's not much work for group leaders and year representatives because they're doing a work which is being shared by so many other students that their workload is close to none. For example, group leaders are not really doing anything other than what they would have usually done. if the teacher is not giving you enough information, without aims, you were going to email them anyways. Now just one responsible person sends the same email they were going to send regardless. So from group leaders aspect, not much is really changing. The year representatives have a little bit more on their plate, but I wouldn't say it's anything that takes more than an hour a week combined, really. All you do is read messages from group leaders, see what is wrong. From personal experience in that year, you see what the issue is, and you send one single email to the head of department or us, and we'll take care of it. The AIMS board is a bit different though, because we're constantly responsible for whatever new problem that comes up. It doesn't take, you know, the majority of our day, but it definitely does. It definitely does take a substantial amount compared to group leaders and representatives, because anything they're not able to fix or they need help with, we're always there to help. But it takes just as much time as it would have if you were in the student senate, in if you're in the faculty of medicine, in BSM, in ESN. If you're in any of those departments, you're going to take the same amount of time to be in AIMS. And the difference is you're focused on helping fix issues rather than events. But I mean, both of them are great. Okay? And the professors especially are very happy with the amount of work, because their work is diminished exponentially. Every week that we work and the system gets more and more settled in the uni, the less work the professors are having to do, the less emails they're sending, the less extra hours they're working. Same with the study department. So we get emails all the time that says, "Hi guys, I have a question," and the study department said you guys can answer it. So now that our study department is focused on what's really important, for example, official paperwork, deadlines that they have to remind students not to miss, updates on the COVID situation rather than answering day-to-day questions like, can I cross the border to Vienna? How many times do I have to retake a test until I can leave my house for COVID-19? So now they're not dealing with hundreds of those messages, which we deal with, but there's 6 of us, so 20 minutes a day answering those messages and you're done. Yeah,
sounds like well used time, and it's really worth to work, I believe. Let's just have last question about the organization. Do you know about other faculties, if they have something similar or not?
To our best knowledge, we know that a student run organization or association is not present in other faculties of Comenius University, but there are things that are similar. There is a student organization that is basically run by the university. It's called the Association of Slovak University Students, or something like that in translation. But those guys are also not very active, simply because they're probably like one representative per university, one single person handling all the issues. So I would say no, there are no other associations or student-run associations yet in other faculties, which I hope would change soon.
So would you encourage people to maybe start similar organizations and gather the international students and maybe communicate their issues together towards the faculty, right?
Definitely. I highly encourage doing that, because if you think you have issues in your university as international students in a foreign country like Bratislava or Slovakia, it might feel like it's enough to email your professors over and over again, and if they don't answer your email, then I guess we have our answer. This is it. It's just going to be like the way it was. That is not really a system. That is the result of lack of a system. And the only person who can change that, or should change that, are the students. These are not things you expect your faculty to step in and change for you, because they're about your student life. They're about how well things are organized, how well you can communicate with your professors and fix things before it's too late. And the faculty is doing more than enough by getting you in touch with the professors, offering you good education and study material. So these things really, if you study in any other university international, you'll see that these things are always handled by students and nobody else. So if you have those issues in your faculty, whether if it's law, philosophy, psychology, and you think there's a lack of representation, take action. It's really easy to represent your study group or study program.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on a little bit. So you are originally from Iran, you said?
Yes, that's right.
And you speak Persian there, right?
That's right. That is our main language, Persian.
Okay, let's have a little exercise. So let's say a few words and I will say them in Slovak and you will say them in Persian and we can compare the difference.
Perfect, sounds good. Let's try it.
Okay, so let's start with, okay, you are studying medicine, so let's start with the word doctor. How do you say it in Persian?
So doctor in Persian would be doktor or pezeshk. We have two words for it. Doktor, which is pretty straightforward, or pezeshk.
Okay, in Slovak, it's lekár. We also use doctor, but mostly lekár. Do you have some word which you would like to hear in Slovak?
How would you say medicine in Slovak?
Medicína.
Medicina. Right? That is something I have to not mess up. I say medicinu all the time. The conjugations are not my friend. In Persian, medicine is pezeshki. So the subject of medicine is pezeshki, and the person who studies it is pezeshk. There's just an I added.
Okay. That sounds logical. How about exam?
Exam would be imtihan. Imtihan means try, so it's something you try your knowledge at, really.
Yeah, in Slovak it's skúška. Skúšať means also try. So yeah, we are saying that for the first exam we are going to try.
Yep, exactly. We also call it a try. Imtihan.
Okay, your word?
How do you say I like coffee in Slovak?
Mám rád kávu.
Mám rád kávu. That will be highly, highly necessary once you get to Slovakia. All right.
Me too.
And in Persian, mám rád kávu, or I like coffee, is man kahve dust daram. Man would be me. Kahve is coffee. Dust daram is mám rád. Man kahve dust daram.
Kahve, it's the same in Turkish language.
Exactly.
Yeah. And okay, what next? Something from medicine. What could be, at least from school? So dean. What do you call dean?
In the university, our deans are called Raise Danishgah. Danishgah is university. So Raise Danishgah means the boss of the university.
Okay, in Slovak it's a bit easier or not so difficult. It's dekan.
Dekan, definitely easier. Yep.
Yeah. And how about dentist?
We don't have a specific word for dentists. We call them tooth doctors, which always sounds funny to me. It's called dandun pezeshk. So pezeshk was doctor, as we mentioned. So they're called dandun pezeshk.
We call them zubar.
Zubar.
It's also like zub means a teeth. So would be like teether, maybe.
teether. See, now that
Too bad.
almost sounds funnier than a tooth doctor.
What else?
Let's see. University, I mentioned in the word dean, reis danishgah. University in Persian is danishgah. Danish means knowledge, and it means a place of knowledge. Danishgah.
In Slovak, we have Univerzita, so.
Univerzita. And
we also have like kind of like Vysoká škola, which is not exactly the same, but yeah, we use that as well.
And do you have a different word for university students rather than high school students? Because that's something we do.
The university students we call studenti, but in elementary school and high school, sometimes too, they call them žiaci.
Žiaci, okay.
Yes.
In Persian, a high school student is Danish Amuz. As we mentioned, Danish is knowledge, and Amuz means learner, so a knowledge learner, Danish Amuz. And in university, we call them Danish Jew, which means a seeker of knowledge. So you go and you learn yourself, which really makes sense in medicine because you got to do a whole lot of self-studying.
So it has really deep meaning in this case.
At first, I didn't see the meaning until I started medicine. I'm like, wow, I'm learning everything myself. So Danish Jew, a seeker of knowledge, makes a lot more sense than knowledge learner.
So how do you say I want to be a doctor?
Man mikham. Merci. Man mikham pezeshk basham. So man is me, as we mentioned, like I like coffee. Mikham is would like or I want. Man mikham pezeshk basham. Basham is to be in future.
And how do you introduce yourself in Persian?
In Persian, Salam, man Datis hastam, man danishjuye danishgah Comenius hastam, man sal دوم پزشکی هستم و من امتحان آناتومی دارم. So that a lot of the words we've mentioned to translate for a non-Persian speaking audience, which would be some of you. Hi, my name is Datis. I'm a student, a university student in the Comenius University, and I have an exam on anatomy. So we use all the words we learned today.
So can you say it in Slovak?
Ooh, not the exam part. Let's see. Dobrý den, alebo dobré ráno. Ja som Datis, ja som z Iránu. Mám rád, ja mám 20 rokov. Mám rád kávu. Ja študujem medicínu v Univerzita Bratislava. Medicínu v Univerzita Komenského na Bratislave. What else?
It's perfect. It's perfect. Can you teach me how do I say in Persian? Hi, my name is Simona, and I am working at Comenius University in Bratislava.
Sure. I think it's very doable. So, hi, my name is Simona would be salam.
Salam.
اسم من سیمونا هست.
اسم من Simona هست.
Perfect. So my name is Simona. And a simpler way would be I am Simona, yasom Simona, which would be من Simona هستم.
من Simona هستم.
Perfect. So salam, من Simona هستم.
Salam, من Simona هستم.
Great. I work at the Comenius University. من در دانشگاه Comenius کار میکنم. So once again, من در دانشگاه great Comenius کار میکنم. Exactly. So man is me. Dar means in. Man dar دانشگاه Comenius in Comenius University. کار میکنم is I work.
I would rather not try it all together because I think I would look like Joey from Friends when he tried to learn French.
Well, I mean, who doesn't like Joey?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so thank you very much, Datis. And can you say bye in Slovak? So maybe we can...
Dovidenia. Or if I'm with friends.
Okay, yes, perfect. So I think this would be it. It was fun. Thank you very much, Datis.
Thank you for having me, Simona. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, me too, that you joined. So see you next week, everyone. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye.
Bye. Dovidenia.